It says live.
Sorry?
It says live on YouTube.
Yeah, but there's usually, it takes a while for it to actually get going.
Okay.
And then sometimes I get a feedback. Go ahead and call the case and let's see if we can go ahead and do this. Right, the court is calling cause number 05032. This is a petition filed by the Attorney General's office. It's entitled a petition that should affecting parent-child relationship. Parties in this case are John Maynard and Leanne Ellen Maynard. Let the record reflect that this matter was scheduled for a final hearing today, February 12th at 11 o'clock in Hudspeth County, Texas. It is now 11:35. And at this time that the case is being called, only Ms. Ellen Maynard is present before me. The record should reflect that Mr. John Luke Maynard was served with citation. According to the return on file, he was served back in October the 6th. He is not present today, and he has not filed a response to the petition. My name is Antonio Rodriguez. I am the Associate Judge for the Title 40 Court here in El Paso, Texas. I do have jurisdiction over matters that are filed in Hudspeth County. At this time, we're, in order to comply with the Texas rules, Supreme Court rules, we are having to transmit this matter on the YouTube channel. That is to comply with the Texas rules. We have courts open to the public. We're also proceeding on a Zoom application since we cannot appear in court due to the current pandemic crisis that's going on. However, the Supreme Court has and the Court of Administration have permitted us to conduct remote hearings, and we're doing so on this Zoom application. I am recording the evidence on the computer-generated recording system. That is the official record of this proceedings here today. Since we're appearing on this Zoom application, sometimes the audio portion may cut out or I may inadvertently lose somebody. If that should happen, just go ahead and sign back on, and I will let you back into the session. Keep in mind also that sometimes the audio portion will give out, and if that should happen, please do not talk over each other. Only one person can speak at any one time. That is to make sure that we have a complete record of the proceedings here today. Those are the general rules that apply in every case, so I'm not picking on anybody. So with that, I'm going to ask the Attorney General to make an announcement on this case. Ms. Kaplan.
Lindsay Kaplan for the state, Your Honor, ready to proceed?
Okay, hold on a second. I can barely hear you. All right, ready to proceed, Ms. Kaplan?
Yes, Lindsay Kaplan for the state, Your Honor, ready to proceed?
Thank you. And Ms. Maynard, you ready to proceed as well, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
All right, if I can have you raise your right hand so I can swear you in, please. Or affirm that the testimony that you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, to help you God.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, you can lower your hand now.
Your Honor, the state calls Ms. Maynard as a witness.
Okay.
Ma'am, what is your name?
Rayanne Allen Maynard.
And who are you the mother of?
Tristan McKenzie Maynard and Jackson Lee Maynard.
And who do the children live with?
They live with me.
And how long have they lived with you?
Their entire lives. Single for 2 years.
And do you live in Hudspeth County?
Yes, ma'am.
And how long have you lived in Hudspeth County?
Since second grade. Since 2005.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Since 2005.
And are you legally married, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
And who are you married to?
John Luke Maynard.
And who is the father of your children?
John Luke Maynard.
And Do you know if Mr. Maynard is working?
If he is working at this moment?
Yes.
No.
No, I mean working as in employed right now.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And how is he employed?
He's employed at LaSalle Corrections, the prison in Hudspeth County.
And how long has he worked there?
He's been there for a little over a year now.
And when did you separate from Mr. Maynard?
About 2 years ago.
And do you know how much he earns at his job?
$21.52 hourly.
Oh, hourly?
Yes.
And how do you know that?
I have family members that work in that facility. My sister works there.
And do you know if Mr. Maynard works full-time?
He is full-time.
And does Mr. Maynard have health insurance for your children through his place of employment?
Yes, ma'am.
And how much does that insurance cost just to cover your children?
I believe it's about $270 a paycheck.
And he gets paid twice a month?
Bi-weekly, yes, ma'am.
And that 270, is that to cover just your two children, or does that include himself?
Just the two children.
And do you know if that includes dental as well?
No, ma'am. I don't believe it does.
And do you have safety concerns regarding Mr. Maynard?
With the children, yes.
And what are the nature of your concerns, ma'am?
He has an aggressive tendencies, and he also struggles with, I believe he struggles with alcoholism. He is never sober when he has the children. I've had to pick up my kids because he's passed out with the kids there. To me, it's unsafe.
And have you been able to make parenting decisions with Mr. Maynard regarding your children?
No, ma'am. He's not very involved.
And do you believe it's in your children's best interest that you make all the major decisions?
Yes, ma'am.
And has there been a history or pattern of family violence in your relationship with Mr. Maynard?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you describe an incident for the court, please, ma'am?
An incident, he called me in the afternoon to go pick up my kids. When I was on the phone with him, he was very agitated, yelling, as well as his girlfriend. They were threatening my life, threatening to hurt me. So I had one of my friends who is a deputy assist me to go pick up my kids. And the entire time I was there, I was threatening them. And since he had put his hands on me before, I was scared for my safety as well as my children's.
And for that reason, you feel that it's in your best interest and your children's best interest that your address and other personal information not be disclosed. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And for that reason, you also feel that it's in your children's best interest that you make all major parenting decisions. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you have any plans to leave Hudspeth County for work or educational purposes?
No, ma'am.
Would you like the option of leaving the county to live anywhere with your children?
I would like the option, yes.
And why is that in your children's best interest?
Because I've been their primary caregiver most of their lives, and if there's opportunities for better education or better work for me, I'd like to be able to take them with no problems in the future.
What type of visitation would you feel comfortable with Mr. Maynard having with your children?
I'm okay if it's during the day. I am uncomfortable with it being overnight just because of his struggle with drinking. To me, I think it's better that during the day is less likely for any incidents to occur.
Do you know when his days off are?
I don't know. He works 5 days one week and 2 days the next week. I'm not sure exactly what his days off are right now.
When he has visited the children in the past, has it been on a weekend?
Yes, ma'am. It's been on some week. He's off every other weekend.
Would you feel comfortable with him having visitation during the day every other weekend?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you okay with him having visitation during the day unsupervised?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, you mentioned earlier that you separated from Mr. Maynard 2 years ago. In that time, has he paid you any money for the support of the children?
He has paid me money scattered throughout the months. I'd say around $3,000.
And at this time, you do not have a divorce action pending in a court, correct?
No, ma'am. We had initially agreed to handle the custody before we continued with the separation, with the divorce.
No further questions for this witness, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Maynard, I didn't quite get where Mr. Maynard works at, but what's the name of his employer?
It's West Texas Detention Facility. It's owned by LaSalle Corrections.
Okay. And what does he do there?
He's a correctional officer.
How long has he been employed there?
He's been there about a year.
And before that, where was he working?
He was working different jobs through the oil field. I don't know exactly what the companies were. I just know it was in the oil field.
Okay. And you mentioned you've been separated 2 years. Do you know when?
Yes.
Can you pinpoint what month 2 years ago when you separated?
It's gonna be May of 2019. Or yes, 19.
Okay. And does he have the children covered on his health insurance right now?
Yes, he does.
Okay. So you have all the information about the insurance, ID cards and all that?
Yes, sir.
And at this moment in time, do you have any plans to move out of Hudspeth County either because of employment or educational purposes?
No, sir.
Do you know, does Mr. Maynard have any other children?
No, he does not.
All right. Okay, thank you, ma'am. Ms. Kaplan, any other questions for Ms. Maynard?
Yes. So you separated May of 2019?
Yes, ma'am.
You're sure of that?
Yes, it was at the end of May in 2019.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
No further questions.
All right, okay. All right, based on the testimony presented here today, we'll find that parties are married and there's 2 children before the court. 2 children. I'm going to go ahead and appoint Ms. Maynard sole managing conservator of the children. I will grant the request for non-disclosure of any of her information not to be disclosed in the court order due to the family violence and at this time, as far as visitation, this is what I'm going to order as far as visitation. The court is fine with the visitation schedule as proposed every other weekend with the condition that all such visitation be either supervised by either Ms. Maynard or somebody else that she designates to supervise visitation. There'll be no overnight visitation. Under no circumstance will Mr. Maynard be allowed to visit with the children if he has been consuming any alcohol or any drugs during the visitation. Okay, so if you see, ma'am, that he has been drinking during the visitation period, that's when visitation will end.
Okay. May I ask a question?
Okay, hold on a second. Let me finish what I'm having.
Oh, yes, sir. I'm sorry.
I don't lose my train of thought.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. There'll be no geographical restriction at this time. Let me see what else. Okay, what did you want to ask Ms. Maynard? What was the question?
If in the case I was to pick up the children and he was intoxicated, what steps would I take at that point?
Well, if you feel that the children are in danger, you can always call police. Sheriff's
Okay. Okay.
No, if in fact somebody does file for divorce action or whatever, some of the portions of this order may be changed by the divorce court, such as the custody, conservative visitation. Okay, so this order will be in place until such time, if ever there's a divorce action filed. Okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, Ms. Kaplan, child support obligations. What is the state's recommendation?
Thank you, Your Honor. The state has calculated a gross monthly income of $3,730 based on 2152 hourly and a 40-hour work week, with giving credit for $270 twice a month. I have recalculated the child support of $650 a month. I previously calculated just giving credit for $270 once a month. But after adding in the other 270 that he gets debited biweekly, the child support has been recalculated to be $650 for 2 children before the court, with a step down child support amount of $520. The retroactive judgment taken from May of 2019 until today, that's a period of 21 months. 21 months at $650 has been calculated to be $13,650, with credit for the $3,000 in direct payments testified to by Ms. Maynard. The remaining retroactive support judgment is $10,650. The state is requesting a recommended repayment of $150 on that judgment until paid. The state is requesting that the child support obligation also start March 1st of 2021. The state is requesting that Mr. Maynard be court ordered to apply for or maintain insurance through his employer, health insurance through his employer for the benefit of the children in this case.
All right. All right, the court will follow the recommendation setting child support as recommended, $650 a month, and child support commencing on March 1st, and payments to be made through the state registry, the state disbursement unit. This order does order Mr. Maynard to continue with the health insurance for the children, and further will grant a judgment after credit, or judgment of retroactive support with credit. The amount is $10,650. Ms. Kaplan, is that what I wrote that down? Is that what you're recommending, retroactive support?
Yes, Your Honor, that's if the court decides to award credit for the $3,000 direct payment testified to. The remaining judgment would be $10,650.
Okay. And payment on that judgment, you recommended $150 in addition to the child support. Is that
Yes, Your Honor.
150? That also commences on March the 1st.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, that will be the order of the court. Ms. Maynard, do you have any questions as to the court's order in this case?
No, sir.
All right. Okay, then Ms. Kaplan will go ahead and prepare the order for my signature. You'll send it to me through what we call the DocuSign application. Once I receive it, I will sign it. The order will be filed with the clerk's office, and copies will be sent to the parties. Okay.
Okay.
Let me see. Anything else, Ms. Kaplan?
Nothing further from the state at this time, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you very much. Okay. Well, that will conclude our hearing for today. Ms. Maynard, thank you for your service today. That concludes our hearing. You're free to go, ma'am.
Thank you very much. You have a great day.
You too. Take care. Be safe.
You too.